Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good.
Good. So I know it's been a couple weeks
Mhm.
since you last came in. Happy to see you again.
Happy to see you too.
So during today's session, just kind of want to catch up with you, see what's new, see what's going on, and then after our first session, just kind of trying to set some goals for what
Okay.
you want to work on over the next couple of weeks, and kind of take it from there.
Okay.
All right? So between the last time I saw you and now, what's been going on?
Let's see. Well, I applied and then interviewed for that one GA position.
Oh, right. How did that go?
Not so good. Didn't get it. So, that was a little not like encouraging,
Okay.
just discouraging.
Yeah.
So that was one thing that kind of just like gave me a low within the past few weeks.
Mhm.
Other than that, just trying to get all of my, schoolwork done. Everything was kind of like a lull in the beginning, and now this month and then next month are going to be like, papers due all at the same time.
Pretty busy, yeah.
So that's another thing. And then just, work is kind of the same. I'm babysitting. And then just being at home, trying to balance, like, just driving, my commute, being at school, stuff like that.
Yeah. So I know we had talked about having a lot on your plate with the switch in majors.
Yeah.
And then, just handling home life, school life. Seems like you're a little upset about the GA position.
Yeah,
So it seems
I
like
am.
did it shake your confidence a
Yeah,
little bit?
a lot. I am not a very confident person when it comes to interviewing or even, I feel like, kind of like to back up a little bit, I've always just been, kind of straight A student, always got good grades. And when it comes to being in a classroom, I'm very open and loud and like to participate. Once it comes to real life experiences, like real life jobs and internships or, anything outside of the school, I don't know why I just like shut down. So, not really that I shut down. I feel like how do I explain it? Like,
So when you sit in a classroom, bubbly, talkative,
yeah,
outgoing, how do you feel in the classroom when you're in a classroom?
more confident.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like I'm not trying to impress anybody. Like when you're on an interview, it's you're the focus.
Okay.
So in a classroom, it's just more of, you're with all the students, you're all learning, and then, the teacher's more the focus and what they're teaching and how they're teaching it and just participating. And, if you have a great teacher, then, the whole dynamic of the classroom is like, to me, it's fun.
Right.
Like I like being in class.
Okay. Versus an interview when it's just you.
Yeah.
And somebody else, and they're asking you about yourself, and you have to present yourself.
Yeah, well, even like starting the position though, like I was almost nervous to get the position because I was nervous to start the position.
Okay.
So that might have affected the interview.
It may have.
Yeah.
Okay. Nervous about what? What made you nervous?
Just not knowing what I'm doing at all. Like I don't have any experience in anything that has to do with my field yet.
Okay.
And I know that a lot of other people don't either.
Sure.
But it's just sometimes I like feel like they do and I don't. Or so I guess it makes me nervous that I'm not going to live up to what I may have presented in an interview or that, I'm not going to say the right thing or like the one that I knew she was going to ask that I prepared myself for and still not messed up on. I said the right thing. It just took me a while to say it.
Sure.
Was, what do you feel like are going to be the challenges with this position?
Okay.
I knew that question was coming. Yes. Yeah. And when she asked, I was like, I know that I'm supposed to frame this in a way that's a positive. And so I knew what my answer was, but to frame that into a positive thing, just like, I was like, and couldn't really get it out.
Off guard.
Yeah. And then finally I did. And I gave her like what I truly feel like was the best response to that question. It just took me a while to get it out. Yeah.
So if I were to ask you, I don't know, this isn't a mock interview, but if I were to ask you, what's a challenge for you in school, or what would you foresee would be a challenge for you in the upcoming months?
In school specifically, or?
Just anything in general. So if we're just sitting here talking and I say,
What's challenge?
What do you view as a challenge in the upcoming months for you?
Probably in the upcoming months, figuring out what I'm doing for my first internship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What about the internship seems challenging for you?
Finding the right one, just what I actually am interested in, because switching my major, obviously I hadn't thought about specifically where in student affairs I wanted to work. So now it's kind of like, and I don't have that experience. So like there are maybe 3 or 4 different things where I feel like I'd be interested in them, but I haven't done it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
And there's only 3 internships. So I don't want to waste my time on something that I know I'm going to hate.
Okay.
So I think that's, and location, because I drive so far.
And
so yeah, where I want to be.
So when I asked you that question, you had an answer. How is that different than during the interview?
Wow, that's a good question.
Yeah. I'm just trying to help you.
Again, because you're not hiring me for something.
Okay. So it's the maybe like responsibility factor, or you put a lot of pressure on yourself, and especially a work environment is what it's sounding like.
Yeah.
Okay. So because it wasn't a super high pressure environment.
Right.
So I'm just trying to help you see that maybe your thought process here and now, or your thought process when you're in the classroom, how can it apply to situations where you feel that way?
Right.
So whether it's, it's good that you identify it, whether it's a job interview, or whether it's, in a situation where it's sounding like you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. Is that right?
Yeah.
That self-pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like things to be perfect, or?
I'm not a perfectionist, but if it's not perfect or I don't feel it's perfect, then I feel like I failed. Okay. Instead of like when I write a paper, I do send it in without it being in my head perfect. But then it's like, now I feel guilty that I've given a professor a paper that I feel is not perfect.
Okay.
So, the same goes for when I go on an interview. Like I want to make sure that I look perfect. Will I show up not perfect? Sure. Or will I go maybe a little bit unprepared? Yeah. But if I'm going unprepared, then I'm feeling anxious and guilty that I'm going unprepared.
There's a lot going on in
your
head when you're trying to have a conversation with somebody, which can be really challenging, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question then, another maybe tough question. How has, that, I don't want to say like behavior or that plan or that kind of the way that you operate in those situations, has that been helping you? Has that been hurting you? How is that getting you to where you want to be?
Probably hurting me because, I put it in my head that, it was interesting though, because for this interview in particular, I was kind of confident up until I got there.
Okay.
Which is so strange because normally for any other interview that I've done, like weeks prior, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm already stressed. And this one was like, no, I'm going to get this. I was planning on like, okay, if I get this, this is what's going to happen, days that I'm going to work, finances, blah, 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 planning everything out. And in my head, like it was going to be my future. Like this is what was going to happen, which is why it let me down so much that wasn't my future and that's not what happened. But once I walked into the room, it was like automatic.
Yeah.
Like not like a shutdown, just I was so confident, and then I got there, and it just wasn't there anymore.
Sure. And then, kind of when you were talking about the outcome of it, so not only did maybe the interview itself not go as well as you wanted it to, but then tell me about when you heard that you didn't get the position.
So that took a while to find out because she told me that I was going to hear back by that next Monday. I think I interviewed on like a Thursday.
Okay.
I was going to hear back by Monday, so I went through the weekend not knowing, and then Monday came, hadn't heard anything. And then Tuesday came, and I think she emailed me maybe Wednesday.
Okay.
So no, like her saying, you know, you're going to hear by Monday, I was obviously reloading my email every 5 seconds on that Monday.
Anticipating it would come on Monday.
And it didn't. So when I did get it, it was kind of like, when I got it, I was like, yeah, okay, that makes sense, because in my head, the interview didn't go as well as I expected it to have gone.
Okay.
But at the same time, I didn't think it was that bad that, I mean, from my knowledge, it was only between me and one other person. And from my knowledge, I have a lot more experience in that area.
Right.
So that was kind of like confusing. And that was the most discouraging part, was that, you know, other people will go on an interview and they're up against hundreds of people and might get a job. I was up against one person and it's still,
sometimes it's tougher to know that.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's, I don't want to say, I mean, not getting a job or a GA position or an internship, or, you know, when you go and put yourself out there, right? This is me.
Yeah.
And you don't get whatever it is, it, you know, that feeling, it's rejection.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's never fun, right? It's never easy. But I think too, you have a lot of control over how you respond to it and then what you do afterwards.
Right.
So what, I guess, could be your options from after the GA? So you got, it's a no.
Right.
So either what actually happened and what maybe could have been some other outcomes or some other things you could have done.
Well, some other outcomes as of like going forward, you know, there are no positions open for the rest of the semester. The semester is what it is. And then this summer starts my first internship or practicum, and that's like required.
Okay.
So I'm doing it. So I think the fact that I will have something that's required that I need to have, it's part of like my class.
Yeah.
The experience, I think, will make me feel a little bit better, since I haven't been kind of in the game in a while.
Yeah.
So,
Is it set up yet?
It's not.
Okay.
Which is also kind of like nerve-wracking. I honestly don't know. So.
Okay. What?
That is also
change that.
Getting in contact with my professor.
Okay.
He sets them up, but it's a matter of talking about what's available and location. I mean, that's really the biggest problem right now with finding an internship for the summer, is that I live so far away from where these positions are available, and these positions that are available aren't even close to here. So I'm going to be driving to Monmouth, and then I'm going to be driving to an internship.
Right.
So I can't.
Here.
Right.
Some of them. Did they allow you to set them? I don't want to say like set them up yourself, but do they let you like seek out an internship? Because
they
you could do?
They could. The problem is that all of the like colleges and universities near me all have their own like program or fill their own internships with their own students.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of the colleges and universities down here have a lot of positions open for Monmouth, and they have those relationships with them throughout the years that they've already built, that they know what's available and whatnot. So I can, if I knew what I was doing, but I don't. Again, this is not something I've thought about. So, and this is new. So, you know, really getting a lot of guidance on it would help a lot.
And I think too, you know, it sounds like you want the experience. You're eager to do it. You know, from what I've heard about you, you seem competent to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and the great thing about practicum is it gives you that little boost. You know, any internship you do, even if it's a part-time job, setting you up for a full-time job, even if it's just a part-time job, a lot of that will give you that confidence. I think that you're looking for. And I think when you do well at your practicum, which I think you're going to, you're going to kind of find that self-confidence and translate it to something else. But I also think it's important for you to try to figure out, you know, what are some things that you can do here and now, whether it's educating yourself or whether it's talking to your professor or whether it's advocating for yourself, right? You know, hey, I don't live in Monmouth County. Not everybody where I'm getting?
Yeah.
Like maybe these are some things that not only can you take ownership of, but do you think those types of things could help alleviate some of the, anxious thoughts that you're having or
Yeah.
feelings? So I guess talk to me about what are some of kind of the biggest goals that you either want to get from here or that I can help you kind of work through along the lines of that.
Probably just like,
I'm gonna take some notes if you don't mind.
of course. Probably just like confidence, raising confidence. And then just like figuring out where to like go from here. Like what is my plan going forward?
Okay.
Those are probably the two. I mean, just like figuring out, time management with figuring all this stuff out, plus school, plus work, plus, everything else.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I do have a little, it's short, and you don't have to fill all of it out.
Okay.
But I think in just kind of hearing you try to work through some of these, this may help to organize your
Okay.
thoughts. Because I know there's kind of a lot going on, so maybe this will help to focus you a little bit. Do you want to take a look at it?
Sure.
Okay. So the verse is what we've kind of already talked about, describing you the problem or problems that led you to come in. And these are things we've talked about, the change in your major, the kind of larger questions of kind of what am I doing, where am I going? The self-confidence is now what I'm hearing from today's session. And then this question, which I really like, just helps you envision that. So it says, imagine that while you're sleeping, all of your problems are solved. Beautiful thing, right?
Beautiful.
When you wake up, how will you know that things are better? What specific changes do you notice? Okay. So I think this is going to try to help you envision kind of where you want to be, the ideal state, and then we can kind of work at getting you there. Does that make sense? So let's start on that question, and then we'll take a look at this page. And I think this will help too to kind of get some things down and try to focus you. So think too, like, how will you know things are different? It doesn't have to be super specific. It can be like, how do you feel? Like, how do you go about your day? What's different than a morning when you wake up and you feel anxious and, oh my goodness, I don't have experience in this field, or I didn't get the GA, or I have to get my summer practicum. What would it feel like to not have those thoughts or worries, rather? Okay. What did we come up with?
So one, having an internship set up.
Yeah.
Number two, just to have completed some papers and homework for classes. It's like definitely always in the back of my mind, no matter what is going on. And then just feeling like when I get up, I'm confident, ready for the day, and I have a schedule of what I'm doing for that day.
Okay. So a schedule, you can feel like you're going to accomplish things that day, and you have the confidence to do them.
Yes.
That sounds awesome.
Thanks.
I love that. Awesome. Okay. So then we're going to take a look at some more specifics, right? This is kind of the ideal image that we're working towards, that we're going to get to. So in here is just kind of 3 broad goals that you want to work on. So some of these you can take right from here. That's totally fine. They give you an example too. And then for each of the goals that you listed, specifically how your life will be different once you've completed that. Okay. So we can talk through some of these, maybe just work through if it's only 1 or 2. That's totally fine. And we can talk about them.
Okay.
So I just want to get them on paper. I believe having them written down, it's not a binding contract, but it's, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to get you there.
So number one, do you want to do, what do you think?
Number one would probably be finding the internship.
The internship.
Yeah. I was going to say that too. Okay, so fill that in for number one, internship. Cool. And then let's maybe think of, and we don't have to write it down in here, but what are some steps that maybe you can take to help accomplish that goal?
Definitely sitting down with my professor and seeing what he knows is available.
Yeah,
that's one
That's a
thing.
great idea.
Number two, probably seeking out myself, like what areas, maybe seeing if there are, colleges near me that have those departments that maybe I can even contact them and see if they're available.
Why not, right?
Yeah.
It's your internship.
I know.
Yeah. It's your internship. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I mean, the worst thing I can tell you is, sorry, no.
Yeah.
Right? And then you move on and go to the next one. Plus gives you some experience talking to different departments at colleges, right?
Yeah.
Nothing, at least, I'll talk to this, and you get to see how they work.
Right.
Right? You never know. Okay. So talking to a professor, maybe put yourself out there a little bit, talking to some places near home. You can always bring that information to your professor too.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. Anything else that you can do there?
Looking into like what those positions are, because I might in my head think that no, I don't want to do that, but I might not know what it is before I say that. So if there's something available, then talking to my professor about like what would that require and like what am I going to be doing, and so maybe I would be interested in it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think again that maybe that education or knowledge piece could help with your self-confidence too, right? Because if this GA position where you talked about challenges, and all you can think of kind of were the challenges, but if you go in there with a little bit of knowledge, you'll be like, oh, I might be able to do that.
Yeah.
Or get experience there. Awesome. Okay. So that's the internship.
So now let's skip down to one. So for this one, how would your life either like feel different or be different if like you've got your internship, it's locked in, you're going to this college or this university, supervised by so-and-so, you got your job description, you can go research it if you want, it's close to your house, right? Like all that cool stuff. Like, how's your life going to be different or feel different for you?
It's going to be less stressful because then I don't have to think about the fact that I don't have one and it's coming up.
Yeah.
And also exciting because then I can start planning on what these I'm going and talking to my supervisor and planning outfits and stuff like that. Yeah.
Fun. Yeah. Okay, write some of those down. That's great. I love that. All right, so I think that's the first goal. Do you want to go through the second one?
Sure.
Okay, so what do you want to put as the second?
Probably improving my confidence.
Okay, I like that. It's a broad goal. I like it. Okay. So talk to me about some things that you may be able to work on to improve your confidence.
Well, specifically confidence in the work setting.
Okay.
So, probably just talking about the interview or the job before I go in and talk about it.
Yeah.
That was kind of one thing in this prior interview that, it was kind of sprung on me. I didn't even know that it was available. I didn't even know that I was going for it.
Yeah.
And it just came. And even though I had experience with what the position was, I still didn't have experience with specifically what that position was.
Sure.
So kind of talking about, because I might have to interview for these internships too. So talking about the positions, what I'll be doing, kind of doing some research, will make me feel more confident because then I can go into the interview and know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
You know, just like trying to calm down before I go in there.
Yeah. I think too, something that might help you. Have you ever done either mock interviews? Do you find, from what I'm getting, and correct me if I'm wrong, you find it hard sometimes to talk about yourself? Like your experiences or like what you bring to a job?
I'm just afraid to like not say the right thing. That's like, I know that if I'm talking to someone in an interview or a fake interview, that I'm just talking. Like if I'm in an interview, I feel like I need to say something that's like worth, like has substance to it, so that goes based on that job.
Okay. So you don't think just talking to anybody what you have has substance, what you have to say?
Maybe not to that job.
Okay. Yeah. I think too, part of working on kind of your self-confidence is kind of seeing yourself like in that moment that you have something valuable to say.
Yeah.
And that sometimes too, like there is no like right answer.
Yeah.
You know, so that question that stumped you a little bit. Like, what are some challenges you may face? Maybe they were just asking you that so that they know what training to give you.
Yeah.
Maybe they were asking you that to see if you would. Oh, well, I wouldn't have any challenges. You know, like maybe. They
but that's what I'm saying. Like I knew I couldn't say that, but I couldn't think of.
That?
No, but I couldn't think of one at that moment.
Okay.
So when I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, what is my challenge? What is my challenge? And I know that there are challenges, but like, what are they? That was kind of what I was stumped on, was like saying one instead of saying, no, I don't think there are going to be any. I knew that obviously that's not the right answer.
Right.
But, and then I did say it, but it just took a while to say it, and that obviously didn't look good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think, working on that, especially in an interview setting, there's a lot of great, resources.
Yeah.
There for things like that. And just feeling good about what you have to say. But I definitely think we talked about kind of the research or the knowledge base going into an interview. That's like huge.
Yeah.
For going in, you know what you want to talk about, and you can talk about it comfortably.
Yeah.
If you have no idea what this job is, you can't talk about it, right, in a comfortable way. That's awesome. So with the improved confidence, right, down to the bottom, how's that going to impact your life or make it better?
Well, I'll be able to hopefully get a job or an internship because I won't be as, self-conscious about what I say or, act.
Or on the flip side, let's say you go for another interview, whether it's a job or not, and you don't get it. If your self-confidence is higher, how might you feel about that?
I would feel at least my self-confidence was higher and I improved in one area. I don't need to get the position.
Yeah.
Everyone says going on interviews is just experience with interviews.
Absolutely.
So, and I haven't been on a lot, so to be able, to have been rejected wasn't the worst thing, because I know that everyone has been rejected at some point, so.
Usually more than you've been accepted.
Yeah.
That rejection factor, it always stings,
yeah.
Right? But sometimes the better you feel about yourself, you go, hey, the next one.
Yeah.
Right? It's still going to always hurt. It's not, you're not going to be like, oh, well, forget them.
Yeah.
It may always bother you, and that's okay. But again, it's the way that you respond to that bothering you. Does it drive you to, you know what, I'm going to apply to 3 more places tonight, or I have another interview tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that motivation factor too. That's awesome. I love that. We're just about to wrap up.
Okay.
So we talked about kind of some of your goals, the larger goals that you want to work on, but between tonight and the next time I see you, some things that you've talked about, talking to your professor, maybe looking into internships yourself, any, improving of confidence or interview skills, whether maybe it is a mock interview or maybe it's doing some more research into your field so you can feel more knowledgeable about it. I think those are all really great goals and things that that you will be able to accomplish by the next time I see you. Do they sound realistic to you?
Yep.
Do you feel good about them?
Yep.
Okay. And then it came up so quick, but the next session is actually our last.
Okay.
So we are going to check in about your progress. But did you have any questions kind of going into your last session? I mean, we'll talk about it then too, but just wanted to bring it up with you now.
No, not really.
No?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to see what you come up with. Take these both with you.
Okay. Thank you.
Enjoy them. Look at them. Feel good about them.
Okay.
And I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
All right. Sounds good.
Awesome.
Thank you.